Hey guys, welcome back to this place. If you are new, welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen, and today we are delving into season 2, episode 4 of Dark, and I am so excited to get back into this. I took a little bit of a break because of Christmas, so it's actually been like maybe 2 weeks since I've seen it, so that's way too long to go without it, honestly. Like, I missed it and I cannot wait to see where we are. So, we still don't know what's going on with Jonas, where he went when he went into the giant ball. And we have more intrigue about Noah because he killed Claudia, but he also lied to Adam because the final pages, whatever they are, have something to do with Charlotte, and for some reason he cares. So, like, could he be her father that we've never met? Questions abound. There's also, oh, hold on. I need to look at my notes. What else was there? There's, I think that was like the main sort of thing was in the last episode was Claudia and Agnes and Noah and Adam, right? And like what was going on between all of those people. We found out Noah and Agnes are brother and sister. So that's really interesting. So regardless, Jonas is related to Noah, whatever his real name is. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see where we're going to go from here and how we're going to keep on building onto this story because so far it's been so beautifully, intricately detailed and like just so fun to try to unravel and to watch unfold. So I can't wait for more. Let me stop rambling and let's just get right into this episode. Also, yes, I'm fully aware that this is comically large straw for this tiny can of Dr. Pepper, but I like it. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Oh, okay. This is where he ended up. This is where he ended up. This is where he ended up. Where or when are we? Also, I think that we should talk about the fact that so much of the show is centered around things being yellow. Oh.
Was ist denn mit dem passiert?
1953, maybe? Or maybe even earlier.
Du warst zu essen vertragen.
Das passt schon, danke.
Unsinn. Diana hat ein Herz für so welche wie dich.
Erna. I need to know when this is. Looks earlier than the 50s, but I also I'm not great with telling decades. Okay, this is for sure earlier than the 50s. I'm not that dumb. Watch it be the 50s.
Agnes, geh und sag Erna Bescheid.
Agnes, his, like, great grandma?
Sag deinem Bruder, er soll die Kammer herrichten.
I wonder if we're going to find out what Noah's actual name is.
Aber welches Jahr haben wir?
I would love to know as well.
1921.
I was going to guess because that's when the other things were. Poor Marta. She has really gone through it, huh? Her brother, her dad, the guy she loved. Interesting. Why did she call Charlotte? Does she not trust him? But he literally showed he was telling the truth. I wouldn't touch that.
Woher hast du die?
Is it just because you're worried?
Wer ist das?
Das ist kompliziert. Soll ich uns was zum Frühstück machen?
Why did you call Charlotte, though?
Wenn du jetzt eine Entschuldigung erwartest, dann kannst du es gleich vergessen. Du hast Scheiße gebaut. Ich hätte nicht sagen sollen, was ich gesagt habe. Wir sind quitt.
Jetzt der Babysitter, während ihr herummacht, oder was?
Warum hast denn du die überhaupt mitgebracht?
Meine Eltern sind seit 2 Tagen gar nicht mehr zu Hause. Wieso benehmen sich alle so komisch?
Lots of people are missing, presumed dead. Oh, are y'all gonna go investigating?
Ich will endlich rausfinden, was Sache ist.
Willst du jetzt in die Höhlen gehen, oder was?
But y'all won't find anything in there because the portal got closed.
Du hast fast 24 Stunden geschlafen.
Why the music?
Wer bist du?
It's the creepy
Dass Erna zu keinem streunenden Hund Nein sagen kann.
Father Noah music, yeah.
Ich bin hier nicht richtig.
Ich hatte dich mir anders vorgestellt.
Does he know about him because of Adam?
Warum hast du das gerade gesagt? Was soll das heißen?
Creepy smile, sir. Oh, weird. That shit. They haven't even finished creating the caves yet, though, or like the passage, right?
Wissen Sie, was ich merkwürdig finde? Jeder, der hier geboren wurde, bleibt.
I mean, that's a small town for you, pretty much. I mean, I guess if nobody left at all, that would be weird, but...
Sie sind 86 nach Winden gekommen. Zu derselben Zeit, als der Junge verschwunden ist.
Nein, etwas später. Was spielt das für eine Rolle?
What?
Wahrscheinlich keine.
There's something about this man that I find very off-putting.
Eine Frage noch.
Do you have to be this close to my face when you say it?
Du erpresst jemanden. Wer bist du eigentlich?
Not who you thought she was, hon. Not who you thought she was.
Es tut mir leid, aber wir müssen das jemandem erzählen. Danke, dass du so schnell gekommen bist. Ich weiß, das macht alles überhaupt keinen...
Oh, did she tell her the truth?
Jonas,
Oh, she told her the truth.
Der Mann hier. Der Priester. Weißt du, wer das ist?
Es ist nur...
Du kennst ihn? Was weißt du über ihn?
He's bad news.
Er gehört zu ihnen.
Was soll das?
Zu wem?
Does he have a name?
Zu Sigmundus.
Oh,
Zu den Reisenden.
the travelers.
Es gibt da etwas, das ihr beide sehen solltet.
I don't think that we should trust Hannah with any of this. Can I just reiterate? I fucking get. I don't trust her. It's a valid question.
Du bleibst bei mir. Du machst, was ich dir sage. Okay?
It would be so scary for her to go in there, though, because it's dark and she can't hear if something's coming, right? I mean, it would be terrifying for me. And I'm, 1, older, and 2, can hear if something's coming. It's also dark, so it's going to be harder for her to see, like, sign language.
Ich interessiere mich für die Stadtgeschichte. Wo kann ich Artikel und Veröffentlichungen der letzten 30 Jahre finden?
Das ist alles digitalisiert.
She doesn't know what that means.
Und wo finde ich das?
It would be so weird to go from 1986 to, like, touch screen shit, you know? Well, she's looking for the keyboard. She went missing. Why was my dumbass trying to read the German one and not look at the fucking subtitle? Disappears without a trace. Okay. Yeah. I guess now she knows that she doesn't go back.
Sie hat Ronta und mir gesagt, was wir machen müssen. Claudia Tiedemann.
Ihr habt das alles gewusst?
Well, like, how are they gonna tell you?
Michael, Mikkel, Ulrich. Habt ihr alles gewusst?
Just think about how ridiculous you would sound if you tried to explain this to somebody.
Ich träume manchmal von ihm. Jonas fühlt sich so echt an, als ob er noch lebt. Kann sich etwas so echt anfühlen, wenn jemand tot ist.
Well, he's not.
Glaubst du, er wusste irgendwas?
But also, it could probably still feel real.
Dass er etwas rausgefunden hat, was er nicht rausfinden sollte.
Is this when he's gonna get, like, kidnapped or then, like, tortured? Because the scars have to come from some point, you know?
Sag mir, jetzt wollen wir fahren.
She's worried that she's gonna show her his dead body or something.
Es ist einfacher zu erklären, wenn ich es dir zeige.
Habt ihr sie gefunden?
Oh, she's worried they're dead.
Wer hat sie gefunden?
No, not like you think.
Wir haben sie gefunden. Sie sind nicht tot. Sie leben.
Oh.
Aber sie sind nicht hier.
Was heißt denn das?
Well, she can't explain to you when she's fucking driving. It's gonna be very hard to explain because you're about to meet your grandson, but you've met him multiple times before, but also he's way older now, and it's very confusing. Also, that's your daughter-in-law.
Du hast gesagt, du glaubst, dass Mikkel in der Höhle war. Du hattest recht. Mikkel war in der Höhle und Ulrich hat ihn da gesucht. Aber da war etwas in den Höhlen. Eine Art Riss in der Zeit.
She's not lying, but I don't know how else she's gonna take this.
Wollt ihr mich verarschen?
No.
Was soll die Scheiße hier? Wo sind Mikkel und Ulrich? Katharina, es stimmt, was sie sagt. Du hältst deine Fresse.
Charlotte hat recht.
Wer bist denn du? Bist du ihr Neuer?
Nope.
Ich bin Jonas, ihr Sohn. Und dann Enkel.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I know, it sounds fucking nuts. It does. I would laugh too. I would. What a wild life. I'm so glad that my life is not nearly this interesting. Holy fuck.
Sie sagt, es wackelt.
Was ist das?
Da ist wer.
What if it's... Oh, it's Bartosz.
Was machst du hier?
Well, I mean, he could ask you the same question, to be fair.
Mein Mann steckt in den 50ern, mein Sohn in den 80ern.
Yeah.
Ich kann's einfach nicht fassen, dass ihr ihm diese ganze Scheiße abnehmt. Was willst denn du?
There's literally proof, though. You know?
Ich war da. Ich habe ihn gesehen. Mikkel. Ihr habt sie doch nicht mehr alle.
Okay, I thought she was gonna like slap her or something. Honestly, it makes as much sense as anything else at this point, so. But fair point. Without proof, it would be hard. But also that newspaper clipping. So they did finish creating it. Oh, no, they didn't. It doesn't do the thing yet. It doesn't make the whoosh noise yet, so it can't work. Yep. Oh, you're gonna hurt your hand, sir. So she can hear some, but not really. It's like muffled.
Wenn du mit dieser ganzen Scheiße hier irgendwas zu tun hast.
Lass das! Mann, jetzt sag uns einfach, warum du hier bist.
Oh my god, are they about to accidentally travel all the way through fucking time?
Was ist das?
Lass das geht euch einen Scheißdreck an.
Wenn du mit Mikkel oder Papa irgendwas zu tun hast, dann bringe ich dich um.
Das packen wir ein.
Und den?
Den lassen wir hier.
Das kannst du nicht machen! Magnus! Hey! Magnus!
Poor Bartosz.
Was ist eigentlich mit ihrem Auge passiert?
I've been curious as well.
Okay. Aber Sie dürfen das niemandem weitererzählen.
I mean, he doesn't really know anyone. I don't think they'd want to talk to him willingly. How did you miss an entire ass person in the road? She's gonna look in the yearbooks. Oh my gosh, yes, you're gonna find out. You're gonna figure it out. This is smart. This is smart. This is what you need. Okay, she has to find out the picture from that. Okay. Yearbook. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Look, that's your son. It's like horrible, but good. At least he's not dead. I don't know if it would be worse to like know that they're like just beyond your reach and that you'll never get to see them again, you know?
Sie ist noch nicht offen.
Noah, yep. Why are you so creepy, sir? Like, you're choosing this creepy aesthetic.
Es wird noch fast 32 Jahre dauern. Sie warten auf dich.
Who?
Sigmundus.
The Travelers?
Du willst doch nach Hause. Das sagen sie jedenfalls. Wer ist sie?
Don't get so close. And it's not really necessary to get that close to my face to say 2 words. One of which is the.
Hat gesagt, es gibt ein Schlupfloch. Adam.
Adam. He's met him.
Der Anführer von Sigmundus. Will, dass der letzte Zyklus beginnt. Ich muss ihn stoppen. Deswegen bin ich hier. Sie hat's versucht.
Ja.
Aber am Ende ist sie genau das geworden, was sie bekämpfen wollte.
How so? How so? Please elaborate. Jonas? Jonas.
Was machen wir hier? Du bist einer von ihnen.
The Travelers.
Ein Reisender.
Mhm.
Noch nicht, aber das werde ich bald.
That's him. Noah. That's him and that's him. They're both him. How fucking creepy.
Eigenartig sein, mich hier zu sehen. Vor allem nach unserer letzten Begegnung.
You mean where you kidnapped me and put me in a blue murder room?
Bekanntschaft hast du ja schon gemacht.
Younger you was way creepier somehow, even though older you was creepy as fuck too. What are we looking at? Is this a torture chamber? Is this a torture chamber? Are you leading him into a torture chamber? Do we think that she might steal the time travel device to go to 1953 to be like, Ulrich? You know what I mean? Did she make it back? She did. But I guess now she knows that she has to go because of what she read. What the fuck is in there? Is she just gonna leave? Oh no. Don't hurt her. Don't hurt her. She just wanted to know.
Was ist da drin? Du wusstest, dass es hier ist.
Is that her daughter?
Du hast uns angelogen. Die ganze Zeit.
It's not though. I mean, I don't think it's either. He has the final pages now.
Wer hat es geschrieben?
Wer auch immer es geschrieben hat, hat Zukunft und Vergangenheit bereits gesehen.
Okay. Can that be any traveler?
Was wird als nächstes passieren?
Adam wird ihn auf den Weg schicken, der für ihn vorbestimmt ist, damit der letzte Zyklus beginnen kann.
Okay. But you don't seem like super stoked about that?
Du hast sicherlich viele
I
Fragen.
knew it was gonna scare me. Who the fuck are you is the question I have. I have my guesses, like I said in the last episode, but...
Das Reisen geht nicht spurlos an einem vorbei. Der menschliche Körper ist auf Dauer nicht dafür geschaffen.
So that's what happened to him.
Wollen wir anfangen?
Begin what? Is this the
Ich will
torture?
mit überhaupt nichts anfangen.
Is this the torture?
Ich will, dass es hier endlich aufhört. Alles.
Keine Sorge, es wird ein Ende finden. Das ist unausweichlich. Dein Ende, mein Ende.
I mean, sure,
Bei
that's...
genauerer Betrachtung jedermanns Ende.
That's just life. You're not really saying anything, like, super profound.
Wer sind Sie?
I still think he could be him. Like, look, they're the same height.
Kannst du dir das nicht denken?
It is him, right? It is him.
Das kann nicht sein.
Ich bin du.
But why?
Jeder Stein ist wieder da, wo er hingehört. Jeder an seinem Bestimmungsort.
How?
Jetzt fehlt nur noch ein kleiner Schubs.
I'm confused though. Sorry. That's honestly, I need to go back and watch that for a second. No, this needed is a little push. Okay. Bit disturbing. Bit disturbing. Once again, I'm just gonna say that Jonas was one of my guesses for who Adam could be. So can I count this as a win? Probably not, right? If I have 8 guesses, then surely one of them is gonna pan out to be correct. Like in a test, you really only get one guess. But what revelations in this episode though. Like, I absolutely loved it. There has not been any of Dark so far that I have not absolutely loved. Like, I would change nothing about it. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. The casting is so good. Like, every iteration of a person from like childhood to adulthood to older age, always great. Like, seeing little Agnes was so interesting, knowing that she's Jonas's great-great-grandmother, and it's like, it's so fascinating too, like Noah, because he is Jonas's great-great uncle, and he recruited him, but now it has something to do with Charlotte, and so Noah is a bit iffy about it, which is so interesting. Like, I wonder if somehow Noah is related to Charlotte. Like, maybe he's the dad that we don't know about. That's still my guess for that. I really don't know why else he would feel so protective of her. I do want to go back again for a second and look at the page that Noah put back in the journal. Now, I cannot read German, so it probably will tell me literally nothing, but I wanted to see what it looked like. Here we go. I'm pausing it at 52. Okay. Again, I cannot read German. If I could, I might know what this meant. I'm trying to like connect the handwriting as well. How do I see the final pages? Jonas knows that he's Adam, right? So it's really interesting that he's not sharing that information with Charlotte and his mom and Peter and them, you know? Who wrote the final pages that got ripped out? Is it Claudia? Is it Jonas? But I mean, no, it wouldn't. If he wrote the final pages, he wouldn't need to get them back because he would already know what they said. So that's immediately dismissal. Dismissed. My idea is immediately wrong. So all I'm trying to say. What?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my god. My heart stopped. I don't know why. I'm still trying to see what this says. If I could read the words, I could like put them in Google Translate and find out something, right? Maybe I'll try later when I'm not, trying to talk to you guys, and I'll let you know in the next episode if I figured out what any of it says by zooming in and Google translating, probably horrifically, because Google Translate is, not the best. But we'll see. We'll see if that gives me any information at all. So we're gonna move past that. I should have guessed in the beginning that it was 1921. I was gonna say like 1923, but I should have guessed 1921 regardless, because that's been one of the times that we've been in this time, right? We have 1921, 1953, 1986, 2019, 2020, and 2053, I believe. That's sort of our timeline is. I should say, here, let me write this down in the back like I have the family tree written. In this episode, we have, is his name Klaus, or is it Clausen? Or is it, am I pronouncing that horrifically? Clausen. Okay. That's the investigator guy. I thought his name was Klaus for some reason. But we had him, and he's sort of like eyeballing Alexander for everything, which is frustrating because I think that Alexander is actually a good person, and I don't know what his past is, obviously. Like, I couldn't tell you why he changed his name, why he had the gun, like why he made the choices that he made, but he was very young when he did those things, and I think that he hasn't done anything that would make me think he was like a really shit human so far in the show from what we've seen. So, in fact, I think he seems nice. Like, him and Regina seem to love each other, and Bartosz, and like, aside from his obviously very questionable dealings with the plant and the barrels and the radiation and all of that, I also understand that he kind of took that over. I don't know how he started running it, because if Claudia disappears, maybe she gives it to him before she disappears. She tells him the secret. I don't know, because we did see her go back to 1986. So I'll be interested to see where that goes. But I hate that Clausen is sort of like focusing in on him, because sure, he's doing his job, and I understand that, and I respect that he's just doing his job. He doesn't know these people. He doesn't have the emotional attachment that would cause him to like tiptoe around questions that need to be asked when this many people are missing, including children, you know, and children have been found dead. And this is something that's been happening since 1986. I mean, longer, but that's when they started kind of putting it together, because it was in the same family. But there's something about him that I find off-putting, and I don't know if it's just because he's against kind of the people that we like and are rooting for, and that we know like all of the intricate details of what's going on behind the scenes, whereas he's kind of looking at things at a very surface level, right? So like, we know all these like details about time travel, and like this person fathered this person who actually is the fucking Adam guy of it all, you know. Excuse me. So like, it's frustrating to see somebody who doesn't know so much, and like, it would be so hard to explain to them the truth of everything that's going on, and to see like him just look at things on a surface level when, again, we just know that there's so much more going on, is a bit frustrating. That being said, like, I don't know, I can't really begrudge him his actual legitimate investigation, although I am frustrated. They know that the audience wants to know what the fuck happened to Wohler, is that his name? His fucking eye. His eye patch has been wearing this eye patch this whole fucking time, and I've been like, what happened to Eye Patch's eye? And they were about to tell us, and then they were like, just kidding, you guys, you don't get to know. I hope at some point they do tell us, but then also I kind of would be okay with just like never finding out. Just because it's kind of funny. Anyway, that's kind of all I have to say about Clausen. Like, it makes sense, he's following a trail, but I just, because I think that Alexander is a good guy and I don't want the truth discovered, I don't like where he's going with it. And because I know he had literally nothing to do with any of that. Like, Mads and Mikkel and all of that. Like, he got no idea what's going on there. So, I felt bad for Marta in this episode, and like just all the kids in general, like Franziska, Marta, Magnus, Elizabeth. Like, they're searching for answers, and people don't tell them things because they're kids, right? And they're like, well, you have to be older so you can understand. And, you know, Franziska and Elizabeth in particular, like, both of their parents have been gone for days and they're still not home, and they're doing it because they're trying to figure something out, but also, like, your kids need you, and they need you to tell them that it's going to be okay. You know, even if you don't believe it, even if it's a lie, just, you know, just tell them that. So, yeah, I'm worried about just all of them. Like, Marta is obviously going through something. Like, her brother, her dad, the guy that she loved, who, you know, she does not know that she's related to, is her nephew, right? She just lost a lot in a very short amount of time. She's very young. She's going to struggle with that. Her mom is pulling away. Like, her and Magnus are just trying to deal with this on their own, kind of, in the best way that they can, which, when you're as young as they are, is, you know, probably not going to be the best way that you could if you were older and had more tools to understand and know yourself and how you process. And just, like, it would also just be incredibly difficult to process that sort of onslaught of grief and fear and terror and sadness and just, yeah, like, even as an adult, like, I don't think I could process that, and I have a lot more tools at my disposal than they do. So how they're even getting up, going about their day, trying to live life is impressive to me. Now, I don't agree with them tying up Bartosz, leaving him in the cave. Like, that sucks for him, because he is just, he went with the person who showed him, like, attention and care in a time when he kind of felt overlooked by others. And so he's kind of in this shitty situation. And also, like, it's not that weird for him to be in the cave. Yeah, like, you're also there. He could validly ask you why you're there as well. Like, what if he's like, I was just trying to see what happened. Like, I was trying to, like, figure out if there was anything I could do, if there was something I could find that would help. Like, that would be a valid thing to say, you know? Like, people are nosy. So I think it was a kind of, like, crazy reaction. And poor Elizabeth, like, did not fully understand what was happening for sure. Like, not only because of her age, but, you know, we heard from her perspective, and it was super unclear. So I hope that Franziska will maybe try to explain it to her a little bit. I don't know if that will happen or not, though. I don't know how I feel about Hannah, and, like, I don't understand why she called Charlotte. Like, it's good, actually, in hindsight, because Charlotte actually had all this other information, and now they can sort of put even more information together. But I just don't trust Hannah, and I don't trust her motivations, and I just don't trust her. Like, I think it's possible she could just steal the fucking machine, go back to 1953, and try to get Ulrich. Like, what the fuck would stop her? Morality? Okay. Doubt. Fucking doubt. Okay, so Katerina finally knows the truth now, which I think is good. I think that also it would be entirely horrific, and, like, what could you even say or do or think or feel? Because sure, this person you love, your child, is still alive, which is a great thing, but they are trapped in a place that you cannot get to them. You can't really take them back, like, if you could get to them, because you don't really understand how it all works, and your husband's trapped in a completely different time, and, like, you know they're alive, which I guess would be some comfort, but also just completely horrific, and maybe even worse, because you're like, okay, so I'm gonna look it up and see what happened to this guy. And then if she was able to follow it like Egon did in the 80s, she might find out that Ulrich spent the rest of his life in, like, an institution, which would fucking suck to find out. Like, that would be so devastating. Like, Mikkel, she knows that he grew up, he fell in love, he got married, he had a kid, but then she also knows how his story ends. And so it's like, she can't even meet the adult version of her son knowing it's her son, you know? Like, at least Hannah got that. At least her son went missing. He came back as an adult and talked to her, had a conversation with her. Katerina doesn't get that. She'll never get that. It just sucks. So something that's really interesting is, now that we know that Jonas knows that he is Adam, it's really interesting that Adam said there's a loophole. And then he also said she became what she, didn't he say that? That she became what she wanted to fight? But he wanted to see the last few pages. That's when he first found the book. Okay. And he never saw the last pages because Claudia had already taken them out. Okay, so it's really interesting to rewatch that scene knowing that Jonas is Adam and he knows that. So he wants to stop himself. And he said there was a loophole. But how does he know that he's not lying to himself to get him to do all of this, right? Because, I mean, to what end? I don't know. What does he mean that she became what she wanted to fight? I don't know. We'll have to learn more about that. I also just want to say that the younger actor who plays Padre Noah when he was like teenage, early 20s-ish, like he is really leaning into like the creep factor, right? Like every single time I feel like he chooses like the actor, like the creepiest way to do something. And so it's very off-putting. And it's really interesting because I feel like even though they play like the scary music for adult Padre Noah, he seems much less terrifying to me than the younger version of himself. Don't know why. Maybe something happened in those years, you know, like having a child. I don't know what it could be. No, but I don't know. But he was definitely giving creep back then. Also, he is much older than Agnes, which I guess I should have known from them talking in 1953. But it's also very confusing because he can literally travel through time. So they could have been the exact same age, you know, but it seems like he's older than her. Obviously, I buried the lead. Like, we're going to talk about Jonas being Adam, which was something that I thought, but also was like, does it make sense? And I don't understand. Like, obviously, there was always something about, like, the bloodline, right? Like, from Agnes to Trond to Ulrich to Mikkel to Jonas. Like, there's, like, a clear thing. I'm trying to figure out, like, what Jonas's motivation as Adam could be. Like, he wants to stop himself. Adam wants the final cycle to begin, right? So I think that he's still trying to, like, break the fact that time is all interconnected in this, right? Because we've seen multiple times that, and they've talked about it before on the show as well, that like the past is influencing the future, which is being influenced by itself. That you can't tell when, you can't say when something started at all, right? Like the bootstrap paradox idea. Like, did Mikkel, going back in time, start off this chain reaction? Or did X, Y, and Z that might have happened before that started? Like, you could just ask yourself a million questions of like, what was the, you know, precipitating event? Is that right? Something precipitates an event or a situation. It causes it to happen. Okay, so I was right. I can English sometimes. So yeah, it's really interesting to try to figure out what started the chain reaction, but I also think that that is an irrelevant question because it's probably never going to be answered, and it doesn't really matter because we're stuck in this loop, as Jonas says now, right? Jonas showed up to talk to Adam in 1921, and he said, you know, I'm you, but he also said, everything, like the people were in place, the events were in place. Now all that's needed is a little push. So what is the push going to be? Is it going to be Jonas? Is it going to be him like showing up at the hotel? Is it going to be Mikkel going into like, what happened? That's, I guess I'm asking the same question again. What happened that started it all? But what is the push? I'm just really curious because I don't know what Adam, aka Jonas, wants out of this. Like, I can't figure it out. Like, the Jonas that we know right now just wants to get back to his family and to the people he cares about. But obviously at some point that's going to change. And it has something to do with Charlotte, who Noah is protective of for reasons unknown. Noah now has the final pages, but hasn't showed them to Adam, aka Jonas. And we still don't know who wrote the book because Noah asked Noah, but Noah didn't answer himself. Basically, we still have a lot of questions. We have one more answer, which is that Adam is Jonas, and that honestly just throws a giant fucking wrench in everything because we still have no idea why any of this is happening, why he would do this, why he would start this chain of events. It's very complicated because I'm trying to figure out the precipitating event, but we don't know, and I think the show has kind of made it a purpose to say, like, that we don't know, unless, again, at some point we find out. I'm probably not going to guess it, though. I absolutely loved this episode. It was just feeding us little tiny bits of information and, like, telling us to run with it as far as we could, and then, like, showing at the very end, like, Jonas 2.0, I guess, and then, like, they're standing next to, they're this exact same height, same build, one just looks different, same eyes, and you're like, could it be? No. You know, like in the scene that I just watched in the basement with everybody, when they're asking, like, Charlotte and them are asking, like, who Adam is, like, for a second you expect him to say me, right? Like, it just makes sense, like, storytelling wise. And so at the end, when you have that big moment of, like, yeah, it's such like a, oh my God, but it's also so satisfying because you could kind of put the pieces together and you weren't sure, and it could have been other people too, and you're like, could it? Maybe? Does it make sense? Not to me. But that's kind of Dark in a nutshell, and I love it so much. I absolutely adore this show so much, and I love episodes where we get to really, like, sit and sort of try to figure things out, and they kind of give you the chance to, like, they go on at, like, a nice even pace, and you're like, what's happening? Like, let's try and, like, have a second and put it together and think while we're watching, you know? And I just think this episode really did that. It was nice and it was chill in a way, while also being very unchill at certain moments. But overall, yeah, it was great. Like, I don't think there's gonna be a single episode of Dark that I don't leave being like, that was amazing. Give me 2,000 more. 2,000. That's so weird. Anyway, as you can see, I'm getting tired. Yeah, I think that's all that I really have to say, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, as well as my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every single episode thus far of Dark. We're halfway done with season 2. And this time, I'm actually right saying that. In season 1, after the 4th episode, I was like, we're halfway done. And there was 10 episodes. But this season, there's 8. So we are halfway done with season 2, which honestly makes me really fucking sad. Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens next. Also, I paused it at a horrible time because it's just Hannah being like, on my screen. So every time I happen to glance at the screen, I'm just going to X out. It's just her face doing that, which it's a lovely face, to be clear. The actress is lovely. Her character, I mean, I'm sure I know nothing about her. I'm just saying, like, she looks very pretty. Her character cannot stand. That's all. Anyway, I am going to go. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys next week for episode 5. Until then, bye guys.